someone knows it's over.
Hello, if you're coming in, I'm there, Joe, SirenLara. We're going to do some collective tarot. All right. We have Queen of Cups and Knight of Pentacles. So we are working on our financial stability and also our emotional stability. So you could be an earth sign, or you could be dealing with one, or you could be a water sign. It's remembering, okay, what are you working for? And the Fool is asking you to start out on new adventures, right? The Fool is saying, we know what the old ways of doing these things were, so now it's time to tap into fiery, passionate, curious energy, right? So the Fool is saying, be curious, go out and explore, look into your emotions, and keep working on your finances. Okay. Let's see what else we have. We have the Moon, which has been coming out. 5 of Swords, 8 of Pentacles, 7 of Cups. There were things here around love and money that you weren't seeing. A lot of fighting, a lot of chaos, a lot of conflict. 5 of Swords says, okay, it's time for this to change. It's mentally. Changing your mental mindset around things that maybe there are illusions around. Start seeing things for what they truly are. Okay? 7 of Cups is... and I always love to talk about this, but 7 is our choice for heaven, right? And what you put in your cup is what you are going to fill up on. So make sure you're putting good options in your cup. So I'm doing collective reads to answer questions. Those are paid, but we're doing collective, okay? So 7 of Cups is making sure that you're putting the right things in your cup, right? Salt and sugar look the same, yet if you use them in the wrong capacity, it can cause a lot of harm. So recognizing if these cups that you're putting in your emotion feel like there's illusion behind it, it's time to say goodbye to it. Especially with 5 of Swords and 8 of Pentacles. 5 is saying it has to change. Whatever this thing is around your financial aspects of it potentially need to be changing. You've done all the work that you can do here, so taking a new direction, especially with the Fool is coming out as one of the indicators. It's saying, okay, the ways that you used to be able to do things may not be how you want to continue doing them. Okay, the Moon wanting to come back out in 7 of Cups. So just being very careful about choosing what emotions you are fulfilling yourself with, and as well, questioning, right? That's how we figure out, like, even questioning within ourselves. When I'm with this partner, when I'm with this friend, do I feel emotionally fulfilled or do I feel sick afterwards? That was one of the things, like one of the friends I used to hang around, every time I would get done hanging around with her, I would feel sick. So then that made me realize, okay, this is not an emotion or a person that I want to be allowing into my space because it makes me feel ill afterwards. So start questioning that, like I say, even within yourself, is when you're in this environment, when you're around this person, do you feel safe and supported, or do you feel sick, anxious, headaches, stomach problems, any of that? Those are all indicators that your body is trying to reach you to say, hey, there's a problem here that needs to be addressed. Okay, so the Moon in 7 of Cups is being curious about your emotions and deciding what is truly healthy for you and leading you in the correct direction. When I say 7 is heaven, that's because heaven is here on earth, and it's dependent upon what you fill your mind, your body, your life, your soul's mission with. So you want to get to heaven, make good choices, right? Okay, so 7 of Pentacles, this is as well, and we had been talking about finances. So 7 of Pentacles is knowing that you can't necessarily go all in on one financial avenue. This is about our choices of diversifying finances. Okay? So, and as well, if it feels like there's secrets or lies or anxiety around a situation, then it's time you're intuitively being told, okay, that is not for you. Hello. If you guys like my vibe and you're receiving info, please like, comment, share. If you can consider booking a reading, it is greatly needed and appreciated. I am in a financial critical spot, which yes, we are all, but tip your favorite tarot reader, right? I work hard for my money. Okay, so 6 of Wands, there will be victory here, right? Being calm right now is probably going to be very beneficial, right? Knowing that it's all already taken care of and worked out. And 6 of Wands saying that, okay, we will be victorious over all of these, but you have to be discerning and decisive about what it is that you're entertaining right now. Strength. I also look at strength a lot as taming your own inner child and saying, no, we can't. You and parents would be like, we don't have McDonald's money. There's food at home. This is that strength card is saying, okay, how within your own inner child do you tame that and say, okay, yes, well, I want to do this thing. I've got to contain myself, keep myself pulled back, right? So strength is asking you to be strong even if it feels uncomfortable, right? Let us see. What else? And 4 of Wands. 4 of Wands is happiness. It's home. It's stability. It's on the other side of making tough choices, right? It's when you're imagining what home looks like. What does home look like for you? Is it a home where there's no fighting, there's no door slamming, there's no contentious? So make sure that you are having the strength to take care of you, but also to be able to say no to other people, right? I was talking to somebody yesterday, and I was like, boundaries are loving. Because that's the point where you say, like for me, when I establish a boundary, I'm like, you know what, if we cross that line, we're going to have a big problem. And it's not punishment, it's not punitive towards others. What it's saying is that this is what I will tolerate and I expect the code of conduct to be. And when we don't meet it, then we're going to say no. Okay? And the beauty of it is again, it's not punishment. It's just saying I recognize the limits and the capacities within me that we can't do these things. Right? It's keeping yourself and others safe. Don't let other people trip up on your boundaries either. Like, don't let them negotiate your boundaries with you because it's what makes you feel safe, steady, and comfortable. 9 of Swords, getting out of your head. Okay, and whoever is in and this resonates for you, you need to get over being the bad guy. Right? You need to stop saying, oh, well, what if people don't like me? That's not your problem. How other people feel about you is not your problem. So 9 of Swords is asking you to get out of your head about the things that have been causing you mental distress. Because it's your life, it's your happiness, it's what you perceive as stability. Right? So fight for your right. Make sure you're making the right choices. Again, if it's aligned with your body, you won't feel sick, anxious, nauseous. So truly listening to your body and recognizing the emotions and saying, okay, does this feel aligned? Do I feel happy? Do I feel safe? Right? Okay. 5 of Swords, 7 of Cups. So this is really, truly mental chaos and confusion around choices of what you want. So 7 of Cups, it's your emotions. What are you putting in your cup? What is fulfilling you? And it's leaving you feeling thirsty. And I'm not actually doing gifts. We're doing collective energy, and I'm doing paid reads because gifts don't pay the bills, unfortunately. Okay, Ace of Cups, we're finding love, we're finding emotion. So if you're in and you resonate, liking, commenting, sharing, always helpful. Gifts are always appreciated, but truly, if you resonate with my vibe and you want to read, then come book with me, right? 8 of Swords, getting out of your head about what it is that you truly want, right? What you want is non-negotiable, so stop. All right, because once you get out of your head, you bring in Ace of Cups, you bring in that love offer, you get what it is that you truly want, but you have to start battling about what it is that you truly want and start moving towards it, right? Happiness is decisive. It's saying, this is what I will do, this is what I won't do, and then moving like it's already yours. All right. Oh, Page of Pentacles sideways. So this is someone who is immature, potentially financially. Tarot always runs off of archetypes, so it could be an earth sign, or it could just be someone who is financially irresponsible. But all of these options have left you feeling that financial pinch and being like, okay, and that's the part of it. You have to look at the people around you. Are they actually able to build with you? Are they financially able to build with you? Are they, because here's, especially in the dating world, people want to be like, well, men be like, I don't want to have to pay for dinner. Well, if you were to build a family, how are you going to provide for your potential spouse and family? Like, knowing that, is that partner able to actually help support you, and vice versa. All right, and Four of Pentacles. Whatever this energy is with Page of Pentacles sideways, it's left you in that lack. It's left you feeling like, I can't move forward financially. All right, and the world is asking you to close out these chapters. Okay, Two of Pentacles, Four of Cups. All right. So Two of Pentacles is by balancing the financials. Four of Cups is recognizing, all right, what emotions have we been forgetting to nurture? What emotions have we realized that we've been left out, right? We've been feeling like, okay, we don't have a friend in the world. So it's also when you start balancing your financials and recognizing, okay, I stayed around people that made me feel small because I felt that that's what I deserved. All right. So it's time to finally start recognizing, no, you deserve to be loved, supported, and find your tribe. But you have to be willing to you have to go through the shit, right? Because nothing changes, so you get so radically disgusted with yourself that you're like, this is no more. We're not doing this anymore. King of Swords, decisive, cutting off, whether this be you or someone else. But King of Swords is like, okay, use your big boy pants or your big girl pants and cut things off that are not for you. And this is logical. The King of Swords is typically like a very savvy businessman, right? Cutthroat even, but saying, okay, what I want matters, and we're going to keep going forward. When you set your mind to something, the only thing, it's only a matter of time before it becomes yours. Okay, Six of Cups, Three of Pentacles, Eight of Wands in reverse. This is, okay, Six of Cups is nostalgia. Three of Pentacles is that imbalance. With Eight of Wands in reverse, with this almost, it's childhood patterning, or how, and somebody said it was one of the reels I ran across today. It's like your relationship with your money is your relationship with your parents, right? And when you start healing the wounds around needing others' validation on how you make money, it will start changing for you. Okay, so Six of Cups, Three of Pentacles is recognizing your relationship to your parents and also your relationship to your money. And recognizing that you don't need anyone else's approval with how you make money, right? So in Eight of Wands in reverse, it's like, if you came from a family like mine, my family loved to keep me financially disempowered so that I wouldn't be able to leave them, right? They wanted me dependent upon them. So recognizing and rewiring that and saying, no, I deserve to have financial abundance regardless of how anyone else feels about it. All right. Let's see. What else? We might be changing decks pretty soon. All right. Knight of Swords, incoming communication. So Florida, my little love, we do collective reads here. If you want to ask personal questions and have my devoted one-on-one time, those are paid. So what I would suggest is sit, and if you receive a message, great. If you don't, then maybe I'm not the reader for you. Knight of Swords is being decisive and swift. So if you don't feel like someone's right for you, you need to make that decision, right? Stop waiting for, okay. This is, with this energy, it's like if you know that something never changes, you finally just have to be like, okay, we're done here. Right? Knight of Swords is saying, I've watched the pattern repeat over and over, and now it's time to cut things out. So Knight of Swords is being swift, being decisive, and saying, all right, we're no longer doing this. Hello, Giselle, how are you? So being decisive, swift motion, all right? Stop waiting for them to never change, because that's really what it is. It's like we give people time after time after time to keep doing the same things. Well, at one point, do you step up and pick up the sword and cut them off, right? If they're never going to change, and maybe because I'm a Queen of Swords, right? I'm like, in Libra, we get a real bad rap for being passive aggressive. And it's like, no, we let it pass. We let it slide until we finally say no more. We've given you enough chances to come correct. That's also why when you mess with a Libra, you get divine justice, because it's like, we gave you those chances to correct, you didn't, so now the big guy is going to take it out for us. Okay, so Knight of Swords, being decisive, cutting it off. Hello, chosen one. Strength is saying, and I don't know why this card always triggers this for me, especially in this deck. It's saying, tame your own inner child, right? This is tame your own lion so that you don't get into hotter water. Yeah. So, Charlene, oh my gosh. And I had somebody that asked me, they were trying to date a Libra man. And they're like, how do you get back at him? I'm like, don't do that. Do not try and get karma, or like, don't try and provoke or trigger a Libra, because we really are protected by another force. But Leo, strength energy is saying, okay, tame your own inner shadow. That was another thing I had to learn, Charlene, is that not everything deserved like a clap back, especially as a Libra, because I'm like, oh gosh, if I really wanted to slip into my alter ego. And that's the other, I feel Libras, we really truly are hitting our villain arc, right? Because we played nice with everyone for so long. And then now we're like, oh, okay. And the other, because we are known as the best friends zodiac, we're the diplomats. So I'm like, when we build a case on you, we can go to all the other zodiac signs and get a reference point on you. So yeah, hurting a Libra comes with some things. Okay, yes, choosing your battles is definitely. Although now that I've become friends with my shadow side, right? Because I've done, and I own everything that I've done. Right, I don't ever be like, oh no, that wasn't me. No, I'm like, no, that was me. But please know that wasn't done unprovoked. That was like, once I finally gave it back to them, they had that coming. I remember where I was going with that, and that's okay. Okay, so Queen of Pentacles coming out sideways. Oh, where I was saying that I may side with my shadows. Like, I've had dark sides, right? I know what I'm capable of when I decide to turn on that switch. So I try really hard not to, because then I have to balance, like, is it worth doing that thing? Because I don't want to deal with the back end karma of it. So I'm just like, I'll let them handle, like I had to tell my daughter, I'm like, let the small people handle the small people, right? So I don't even have to get my hands dirty. I just have to clock it and keep moving. All right. So Queen of Pentacles sideways is saying, anything that's kept you disempowered, anything that's kept you feeling small, it's time to release it. And this could be around mindset of financial, right? It's financial mindset of saying, okay, we're going to cut these things off. I am all right. How are you, Suleiman? And guys, I'm doing collective tarot reads. If you want to ask questions, those are paid just because I have big bills due tomorrow. Like big bills. Like my electricity is about to get turned off on my phone and everything. I'm about to be homeless, so it's what it is. But if you guys are wanting to donate, or if you can donate, please do. Or if you'd like to book a read, please do. Right? All right, let's see what else we have out of this. Okay. And Knight of Wands. And this is, are you getting your groove back? Are you finally starting? I know a lot of us, I don't know about you, Charlene. I've personally been in a big, huge hermit mode, but that's because the cardinal signs, especially Libra and Aries, have been going through it for a heavy period of time, especially the last few years. So Knight of Wands is, we may have been spending a lot of time in hibernation or hermit, and now it's time to actually get out there. There's like this new, renewed sense almost with spring upon us, if you're in the northern hemisphere, that's like, okay, it's time to get out there, it's time to pollinate, it's time to show the world who we are and where we're going. All right. Yes. And I love being I'm more of a nature child. Like, I'm more of a get me out in the, bare feet on the ground. I've gone through periods, though, where it's hard to get out as well. Okay, Ace of Wands. So we're getting our inspiration back. We're saying, oh, okay, it's time. So Ace of Wands is that moment where you go, okay, we've got it. We know where we're going. All right. And sometimes that's what it truly, it's like you go into hermit so that you can have that inspiration. And it is that if you want to hear the voice of the divine, you have to be able to shut out everyone else, right? In order to hear, because if you're listening to 5 different people and they're all telling you one thing, it's like you can't hear that, like, aha. Ace of Wands are new beginnings. It's saying, all right. 5 of Cups, loved it. It's that whole hermit-like energy again. It's saying, okay, we spent our time walking the path alone. We spent our time being in solitude, feeling like we didn't have a friend in the world, and now it's time to get out there, right? So very inspired, fiery energy is say, all right, the time to move forward is now, right? Charlene, I love water. I grew up landlocked, though. Like, I grew up in the swimming pool. The ocean actually freaks me out. The beach freaks me out. But I do love it. Oh, my gosh. We had gone to the Bahamas, and I went snorkeling, and because I had never been in the ocean like that, when I got into the water, I started to hyperventilate a little bit, and then it was like, it's okay. It's okay. And if you were to go in the ocean, from snorkeling, there's probably worse things, but I can't wait to get back to the ocean again. So, Shafiq, we are doing collective energy reads, so it's recognizing if the message is in here for you, it's for you. We do see 10 of Cups, though, so this looks like we have been doing the work. We're actually getting further in life, because 10 of Cups is that whole happily ever after. It's family, it's stability. So it's, if you've been, okay, and this is a lot of it. Hello. So a lot of it is, if you've been doing the work, if you've been doing the right thing, right, promotions are inevitable, or those upgrades in life are inevitable. So recognizing, okay, I've worked really hard, and recognizing when that big thing that you wanted happens for you, please make sure you give gratitude, right, to yourself, to everyone else around you. So it's recognizing, okay, like, I got to this big accomplishment, and thank you. Okay. I understand that. That was Abel. He has a brother named Cain. I actually have 6 kitties in total, but that was Abel. Okay, so when I first, oh my gosh, Abel was part of a prophetic dream. I dreamed of the boys, and then within 6 months they were born. They were my ancestors. And when I first moved out to the land that I live on, because I'm not naturally from here, and of course didn't know the geography, but I live on old plantation land that's very haunted and very active and very upset. So when I first moved out here, that helped me get over my fear of like shadows, was Abel and Cain, because you would hear or see something in a corner and you'd be like, is that a cat or is that a demon? So having a black cat definitely on very haunted land helps you get over your fears of things that go bump in the night real fast. It is scary, but it's also a learning process, and I was actually sent here to learn and grow and help teach others, and yeah, really, I help release a lot of angry spirits off the land and the area. Yes. Oh, baby, I'm sorry. And we lose kitties. Sometimes we lose kitties. Okay, so the cat distribution does not miss, right? So the cat distribution system does not miss. But when they leave us, that's because like we're at a point in our life where we don't necessarily need them per se. And I know that sounds like you're always going to need your baby. Yet when it's time for you to hit the next, oh gosh, Meg, I'm sorry. I had a black kitty that was poisoned as well. That was, so I understand that. I'm sorry, baby. They're coming. We have new ancestors that are going to join us, guys. So for Charlene and Meg both, may you be sent the most beautiful surprise from the cat distribution system, right? From my home to yours, may you be sent the most beautiful surprise from the cat distribution system. And also, I love just visiting random kitties. Sometimes, and let's actually talk about this. I got you. I have six and a dog. And it's weird how we all all of them have such different personalities, and yet they all coexist mostly peacefully. I have 2 tuxedo girls that fight, but that's them. Yeah. I love visiting with kitties. Okay, so here was this story I was going to say. And never doubt the timing of the universe, right? One of my kitties, my family member stole from me. She stole my dog and my kitty, refused to return them. And my kitty and we're across state lines, right? And my kitty had gotten out, and I didn't know, but somebody had found her, and they found her on my brother who had passed away on his birthday. So I took that as a sign. And the woman, when she contacted me, she went to great lengths to contact me. And I was so relieved, but she had said to me, she's like, it reminds me of my kitty that I lost. And I was like, I'm so thankful that she had found her, because it was like a reminder of her own kitty that she had lost, that it had brought such great comfort to her to be able to assist my kitty. Because when she found mine, she had made it 12 something miles in 100+ degree heat, because where I'm from is Arizona, and the end of August is, if anybody's from Arizona or the desert, they know the end of August is freaking miserable. Yeah, so I was like, okay, even the cat distribution will send you an angel that'll save your kitty, and it'll send that angel like their own reward for doing work. So it was a beautiful reminder that we are all interconnected. We are all taken care of. The fact that she disappeared days before my brother's birthday, and then it was found on my brother's birthday, and I was never notified of any of that. I wasn't notified by my family that she had gotten loose. I wasn't notified that she had been missing. And it was a good Samaritan going to really great lengths to track me down to help reconnect. So it's something. Right? Okay, 5 of Pentacles. We've been left out in the cold. Whatever we've been dealing with, thank you guys for my little... And I tell tons of stories about life, love, spirituality. If you want to know experiences, ask. If you want to connect with ancestors, ask. Because I don't just do... I do Reiki, I do sound therapy, I communicate with ancestors, all of this stuff. Right? So it's recognizing, okay, how do we start interconnecting? We tell stories. Okay. Joseph, have you heard of technokinesis? Because you can put intentions on your media for it to have success, right? When you infuse your songs with success, and success like quantifiable, but actually like being definition of what is success. If you want it to go viral, okay, what does viral look like for you? Be like, okay, when I'm putting this song out, when I'm encoding and I'm putting this song out, I want it to hit 1 million views. Start asking, like, yeah, things can go viral, but is it going viral for the right things? Is it going viral for the wrong things? Are you actually getting the returns that recognize in your brain that that's success? Okay, so 5 of Pentacles. With that coming out, though, it's recognizing, okay, some situations may be leaving you out in the cold financially, so you may have to take chances. Wheel of Fortune, this is taking chances. This is saying, okay, I've done the work, right? Thank you, Charlene, for hanging out. Please come back and check me out. If I resonate with you, if you ever want to read, please message me, okay? Wheel of Fortune, this is saying we're going to take our chance, and it looks like lucky girl syndrome or lucky boy syndrome, right? Baby, for A, I need you to recognize that whether someone likes you or not, you like you. And if they're not on board with it, that's a them thing. And you keep moving, boo-boo. Okay, so Wheel of Fortune is doing the work and being in the place. Okay? Walls, what I would say is, if you don't feel satisfied, then it's redefining your dream, right? And it's in your gut. Like, when you go to do that thing, do you feel, because there are only two answers with the universe. It's either a hell yes, we're turned on, or a fuck no. Right? We're going to say it again. There are only two options in life. Hell yes, on. No, fuck no, turned off. So it's, does that thing that you're doing, do you feel like lit up, or do you feel like, because if you're feeling on the fence, you're not going to be satisfied. But it is recognizing, like, okay. And also, anything that we do, you have to take satisfaction even in the failures, right? Let's talk about that. To fail is your first attempt in love, right? It's first attempt in learning or first attempt in life. So to fail means that you tried. So let's talk about again. Fail, first attempt in love, first attempt in learning, first attempt in life. Okay? Your fear is false evidence appearing real. Right? Yeah. And Meg, I understand that completely, because sometimes you're like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, when you get, but here's also what I've learned is, like, how I've started asking certain tarot decks is I'll say, like, swords are a yes and anything else is a no. But anything, like, even on the no's, then I look at it like, what are the defining cards? If it's no and I see the moon come out, then I know that there are secrets there that I can't potentially see, right? So it's all that, yeah. And that's by design, because sometimes you're not meant to know, Meg, or it's like you're trying to fit it into a box that it's not meant to be fit into, right? Things that are aligned for us, we won't have that confusion. It's also like, oh gosh, have you ever had, I'm sure you have, but you know, this has happened to me, where I'll receive information, like, I don't know if that's right, but I feel that calm in me. Like, I'll be like, no, it feels aligned. I got that info and it doesn't make me feel anxious, so that I know that that's that's something from source. But anything that makes you feel that confusion, you're like, this isn't really for me. Because anything that's for you won't pass you by. And sometimes it's not a no forever. Sometimes it's just like a no for right now, right? Sometimes, and that as well. Okay, so think of our life as a flight pattern, rotation, right? And say there's nowhere for that manifestation to land. It's a big guy, right? It's coming in. But there's nowhere for it to land because there's not a clear pathway. There's not a clear runway. It's not that it's going to pass you by, because it's just going to circle, right, your life in the airport till it's time for you. So anything meant for you will not pass you by. You just have to get the runway clear. Oh my gosh. Yes. And Meg, do you read for others? And here's what I don't love about timelines, because timelines are fluid, right? They're forever changing. And it's dynamic. What something is today may be completely different tomorrow based on shifts in the body. And I learned that from even working in the hospital, right? Because I used to work in the hospital and people would come in and they're like, I'm having this thing. And we're like, we have to do this test. And they're like, well, we just did the test. I'm like, yeah, but everything in your blood chemistry could have changed between now and then. And it's frustration. But I also learned from being a waitress, like giving people timelines or giving people time specific. I'm like, yeah, no, because when you're a waitress, if you say, oh, your food will be out in 5 minutes and it's out in 5 minutes and 30 seconds, then people start being like, oh, this is horrible, this is crap, like, you don't know what you're talking about. It's like, no, it takes its own time. I'd have those conversations with one of my kiddos, because one of my kiddos is very impatient, but she doesn't do things till she's ready to do it. And that's kind of how the divine is. That's kind of how we are, is that we're, when it's time, it's ready to go. But until then, you're not moving anywhere. So trying to control anything is like trying to control your hair. You can influence to the best of your ability, but you can't actually control anything. Alright, we may be out of this deck. Let's see. also had, I'm going to talk about, I think I'm going to switch decks. Okay, so last night before I went to bed, I was like, I feel like wearing, today's Monday, right? So guys, this is your relationship day to your mother, and it's also your internal world. So if you have questions coming up right now internally, that's like tapping into your feminine side, into the subconscious, and strengthening that. But before I went to bed last night, I was like, I need to wear green. Green is typically the 2 times I've been in court, I wear the green dress, and something told me today, put the green dress on. I'm like, oh, okay. Whatever that is. Maybe I have some officials coming towards me. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Okay. Knight of Swords in reverse. Justice. Page of Coins. Okay. Someone who once had power to be cutting towards you and had financial constraints over you, receiving justice. And Empress. Very Venus and Libra energy coming out here. Right? So that justice, that decisiveness, when everything comes forward, will leave us in the financial and emotional, beautifully nurturing spot. The queen of our own lives and our own world. Let's see what else we need from here. All right. Or not. Okay. King of Cups. All right. Were you dealing with a King of Cups, a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio? Okay. All right. For Mervis. Baby, oh, man. Okay, so, Charlene that was in earlier is a Libra as well. And that's rough, Meg. Like, there's a lot there to unpack. I have 4 placements in Libra, but I have a Libra sun, so I get it. There's a lot to unpack there. And when we're ruled by Libra and Saturn like that, and Venus like that, it starts to get, because it starts getting, I almost feel like more malefic. Like, like I say, I just have a bunch in Libra as well, and I'm like, oh man, it's something. But yes, okay, so judgment is coming, justice is coming, that very Empress energy. And I don't know if you were in, Meg, when I was talking about, I'm like, the cardinal signs like Libras, I feel we're about to hit our villain arc. Because for way too long, we tried to be like the peacekeeper, we tried to be polite, we tried to be nice. For almost 2 decades worth, right? Because we've just come out of some huge, heavy transits that were in Libra and in cardinal signs, and saying, okay, you know what? No, it's time, right? We've stayed quiet for too long. It's time now to start demanding justice. And also how justice starts is when you start calling it, like you start mentally calling it, and then it'll physically start manifesting for you. It's like when you recognize someone did you dirty, it's like then they get their karma, and you're like, oh, okay. And Meg, how many people have you tried to take you down or mess with you? Because I think that's the funny thing with Libra too, is we make shit look easy, and then people think like, oh, I'm just gonna ruin this for them. And it's like, you have no idea what you just awakened. Like, the divine don't play about Libras. I know. Well, baby, we are time. It is time now, right? And we have, what was it? I think it said Uranus is moving out of Taurus, and that was like a 7-year cycle, especially for the placements that are affected, Venus, like, they're affected with Taurus. So, we'll see. Hello, Judy. How are you? Hello. If you guys are coming in, I'm Lara Joe, Siren Song Lover. We're doing collective tarot. If you want to book some time with me, my Cash App is linked, and I'd love to read for you. So we have 5 of Pentacles, 5 of Wands. We've had that stagnancy. It is time for these to change. With Ace of Wands, though, it's that in rest. Oh my gosh, please rest. Because in order to carry forward, when this Ace of Wands hits you, in order to be able to push it forward, you're going to need to be rested first. And this is, and I know if it's anything like me, it's like, I don't have time to rest, right? Except for if you've ever had a baby. This is collective, Judy, so it's for everyone. No one's getting my undivided time unless they pay and they ask questions after paying, right? Like they pay and ask questions, but other than that, this is collective. Okay, Ace of Wands. So if it resonates for you, cool. If it doesn't, cool. Ace of Wands, though, it's taking that rest before the actual part of it. And everybody wants to be an entrepreneur until they realize how lonely it is. Until they realize the jealousy that comes with that, until they realize like the lonely nights, the lack of eating, because it's like getting that business up. But it's, think of childbirth, okay, where I was going with this. If you had a baby, there's this weird phenomena that right before you deliver, you're like, I'm just going to take a nap. I was like, no, you can't nap. No, you need that little just cat nap to be able to push forward. So this is saying, I know it's financially been tight. I know there's been lots of conflict. There's like people wanting to shape your vision and your passion for you. But take a moment right now to rest, because that Ace of Wands is coming, and taking that moment right now, like I say, kind of like that push right before having a baby. And like you take that little nap, it's like, okay, if you take this moment to breathe, when this Ace of Wands comes in, you're going to be able to be springing into action, right? And that's part of it too. If you're wanting big movements, are you ready to spring into action? Do you have a game plan? If you don't, that's fine. Like the universe will put you right where you need to be, but it's recognizing, okay, if you say you want to move, have you started packing? I had that come up too with the universe, where I was like, I said I wanted this thing, but I wasn't ready. And then when I got ready, then it was provided for me. So Ace of Cups. This Ace of Wands is going to bring in Ace of Cups. So not only are you being filled with passion, you're also being filled with love. So it's felt tight. It's with Five of Pentacles, Five of Wands. It's that everything's felt uncertain, yet Ace of Cups and Ace of Wands are coming right behind it to say, hey, all of this work will be worth it, right? And sometimes for me, it's like sometimes the best times were the struggle times. Also, let's talk about this. I was taking the shower and I was like, I no longer want to be addicted to the struggle, right? Let's actually say that to ourselves today. We don't have to be addicted to the struggle or the drama of struggle anymore. Like, stop saying that in your vocabulary. Things can come easy for you. Everything can come easy for you. So start speaking that over your life. This obstacle moves easily for me, right? That actually helped me, and I may have to remember that to go back to it. But I had a huge obstacle. I needed a lot of information. Didn't know how or where to find it. And then it was like, it was the faith of a mustard seed that moved a mountain. And I'm not super religious, but think about it. It's that tiny little glimmer sometimes that helps you keep pushing past all of the obstacles in your life. So the faith of a mustard seed, your ability to see a tiny way of growth will help you keep going. Yes, yes, yes. And you can, honestly, you can anytime you really want. There were some other, so another tip that somebody said is if you get in the shower and you put your back to the water and you say, this past version of me is leaving me, right? So saying this version of me that was addicted to lack, this version of me that did not feel worthy of receiving or deserving of a good life, that leaves, it washes off my back. Right? So it's a lot of remembering what we tell ourselves is what becomes reality. So stop identifying as the struggle version of you and start identifying. And that's probably also for me. I did not feel sunny and happy and want to put on a dress and look pretty. Right? But this is, I think Gabo might be little, like young. Thank you. I appreciate. Gabo, have you studied the really hard stuff yet? Because I feel like there's something that's like you keep wanting to skirt around a really difficult matter for you, but I feel you need to focus on that right now. Okay. But so whatever was giving you a harder time, like the easy stuff you already know, right? But the harder stuff, I need you to focus on that right now. And it feels like passing, yes, but may not be necessarily passing, like, right? And this is, I'm going to say this as well. I had to tell my kiddos this, right? The score on the test doesn't matter. I know, math is something else. The whole, like, the score of the test doesn't matter. It's, you pass the test, right? So sometimes you have to be like, even if I don't get 100, like, getting a 75 was okay, even though it was really hard, right? Like, or especially because it was really hard. Giving yourself grace. Also, guys, when you do things that are hard, give yourself grace and compassion for doing the dang thing. Okay, so Meg, to go back to other tips, right? So one of the tips is looking in the mirror and saying that I am living I am the version of myself that lives my best life. You can do those. Those mirror affirmations are very powerful because it's saying it back to you. The shower manifestation where you start like, okay, the past version of me is being washed away, right? And recognizing when we shower, I always like to imagine like anything stuck, stagnant, dark energy on me, shower is washed away, right? Okay, so here's the part. So I'm going to tell you two things, right? Fear is false evidence appearing real. So let's say that again. False evidence appearing real, right? And fail is first attempt in learning, first attempt in love, and first attempt in life, right? So here's the challenge. You can still fail a test and be successful. It's just the first time you take it, there may be a million different factors. And I can give an example because I have a son who's grown now. But he failed a test, like a actual state testing for his EMT license. And I don't remember, and he's like, God love that kid, but he was a horrible test taker. Like, I can't even tell you, I think his driving test, he passed on the third time, right? But, and Meg, I'll come back to tips. Sorry, I get distracted. Adult ADHD is a real freaking thing, right? Oh, look, a squirrel. So he failed his EMT test twice, and they said, hey, you only have so many tests, like you have only so many that you can pass or fail. And he actually failed out of it, which means he failed out of the program. But he did actually go back the following year, or he did go back and retest or whatever he had to do. And he had to pay for part of the exam again, part of the course. I had to help pay for it too. But he passed that time. And it was that whole, just because you weren't ready at that moment doesn't mean that you won't pass it eventually. And yes, sometimes we do have to pay again, but it's one of those, okay, or we do have to retest again. And it's only learning, right? So we're all here to learn. And when we fail certain things, sometimes that's the indicator that, okay, that thing's not for us, or we need to refine what we want to do. It's not like you're the worst. It's just hey, maybe that thing isn't aligned for us. I had that example with a client as well, where it was like and before she went into it, I was like, I don't feel like this is a good fit for her, but she decided to go into it, and then she ended up failing out. And her and I were talking about it. I was like, this failure doesn't, I'm like, you can always retest and get back in the program next year. And then she ended up changing paths, and it was more aligned for her. And while it was hard, and it was a hard learning lesson for her, and she was an Aries, so she definitely very headstrong, God love her. But I was like, hey, that failure wasn't like we're end of the line. It means that you actually figure out now what you want to do, and next time you'll be more discerning about what you don't want to do, right? Yeah, that is the biggest part. Failure does not define you. And I have kiddos who, because of step-parent and co-parent pressures, that feel like, oh, I have to have the best grades, I have to be a perfect kid, I have to XYZ. I'm like, baby, I'm still going to love you even if you don't do well in school. Like, I really have to take that pressure off my kids because they get it from other sides, where I'm like, hey, failure isn't failure, it's learning, right? But also, like, just because you get a bad grade doesn't define, right? Even failing exams are big. doesn't define. All right. So other manifestation texts. Okay, so you can look in the mirror, right? You can speak it like, I am the version of me that already has everything that I need. And that as well. It's scary to start, but the version of you that's 5 years down the road is going to be happy that you started today. Yeah. And same, Meg, same for me as well. Except for this part. And even as a mom, like, I used to be kind of heavier on academics, and then 2020 happened. And in 2020, everything was hell in a handbasket, and my kids are more like me. Like, my kids are not computer-based learners. We didn't, we liked pen, paper. Like, if you actually saw, I have electronics. I don't love them, but like, I'm more of a pen and paper, like, write that shit down. Also, if you're trying to manifest, let's talk about this. Manifesting works best when you get pen and paper and write in cursive, right? Because it uses more, yes. So Meg, I actually do have, for me, like, I offer workbooks for like shadow workbook prompts, but I have, if you send me your email, I can send you like a few pages either from the manifestation workbook prompts, or I have an inner child healing, but those are things that I offer for sale, right? I have their shadow work for like manifestation prompts around like certain triggers and such. So, and yes, journaling, manifestations and prompts are important. Writing is important, right? I also have various writing exercises for manifesting your dream life. Meg, I'll give you just one if you want to grab a pen and paper, and I can give you a prompt for writing a manifestation letter if you want, and then let me know when you're ready, and I'll give it to you, okay? But I do offer those type of things, so message me, because I have workbooks and prompts and ebooks on inner child healing. I have it on mother wounding, father wounding, divine masculine, divine feminine. I have a whole bunch. Okay, so Meg, and anyone that wants this, right? You're going to write and you're going to date it, right? And you're going to date it for 6 months from today, right? Because that's when you want it to come in. So I want you to write down a letter to the universe of everything you want. And I'm not talking about what you feel you deserve. I'm talking about everything that you want in your heart. Right? As big as you can. Like, dream bigger than what you think you really want. Just all of it. And then burn it. But set it, like I say, date it for 6 months from now, because you're wanting these manifestations come in between now and 6 months. And not saying that they all will or any of them will, but it's recognizing if you're, and this is one of my favorite statements, even with the universe, closed mouths don't get fed. Let's say that again. Closed mouths that don't get fed, right? So if you are just over there, mum's the word, like everything's great, right? The universe isn't going to give you. And just also with gratitude, right, is saying that, hey, when the thing comes in that you want, thank you, universe. Giving credit, like, thank you for assisting me on this path, because your dreams are possible, but sometimes you have to get bigger involved, right? So write a letter to the universe, date it today, or date it for 6 months from today. Write down everything you want. Like I say, don't think like it's not for you. Don't listen to what your mama said that's never going to happen. No, write it down. Whatever is in your little heart's desire. And then burn it. Like, sit with it and then burn it. Okay? So, yeah. All right. We have judgment coming out. It's recognizing where have you been wronged? Where has your heart not truly received justice? And calling it within internal. That's also with your relationships. And everything with life is either a lesson or a blessing, right? Let's talk about that for a minute. Everything in life, just like it's either a hell yes or a fuck no, it's either a blessing or a lesson. And why do we say even lessons are blessings? Because it's what you will never tolerate ever again, right? So calling judgment We're going to take that next one on the bottom underneath it. 8 of Swords is like if it kept you in your head, if it kept you feeling stuck, stagnant, like you were in that loop, it's time to let it go. Say, okay, we're not going to do this anymore, right? Yeah, and experience is the most powerful teacher. So while people say, oh, I didn't want that lesson, well, that's something that you will never do again. Like, you ever do something at work and you're like, oh, I really fucked up, but you will never make that mistake again, right? So even when we learn lessons, I learned that in love as well, is that I'm like, ooh, I never want to do that again. And then when people start moving like that past behavior, you can say, nope, I've seen this song, I've seen this dance, we don't have to keep doing it. So it is that while experience is a painful teacher, it also ensures that, hey, we're going to also help educate and teach others what that was so that they don't potentially have to go through it either. So calling judgment, being like, okay, no, we're not doing this. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. It's always a challenge when guys are like, how many tattoos do you have? I'm like, I don't know. You'll have to, that's an exploration left for a different day. Okay, so 3 of Wands. We are climbing the ladder. We're building our success. And 3 of Wands has been coming out the last few days for me, especially as well. It's that, okay, we're building our foundation. We're gaining traction and momentum. We're starting to realize, okay, what is it that we truly want? It's like, what does like people talk about climbing the corporate ladder. No, what does climbing the ladder in your life look like? What does it include? What passions are you building on? So 3 of Wands is saying, okay, we're climbing, and what passions are you climbing towards? Cass, we're doing collective energy read, babes. To actually have just one-on-one with me is to book, like to pay and to book with me. Yeah, this is collective, baby. And the only reason I'm on that is because I'm really freaking broke. Like, I have $300 some odd dollars worth of bills due tomorrow and not a dollar towards it. And yeah, like critical bills. I'm just like, I guess, right? 8 of Wands, we're receiving messages. Anyone else identify with the birds? Like, the birds this week have been bananas. So messages come in different forms, right? Messages come in different variations. So recognizing when that message is for you. And honestly, if you're observing it, every message is for you. Let's say that again. If you're observing it, that message is for you. So 8 of Wands is recognizing everything around you is a message for you. Okay. So yesterday, I was talking with the ancestors, and I was like, no, everything in your environment is specifically curated for you, and your ancestors work really hard to get you messages, right? And I was thinking about that last night, and then my ancestors played like kind of 2 snarky songs, like one ended, and then the next one began. I was like, you guys really do work hard. And I'm just totally, we don't always get it. So recognizing, okay, when you get the messages, yeah, it's for you. So Meg, there is a sign as well. Especially with Libra, with a bunch of Libra placements, you're going to identify with birds. Probably. Because they're air, right? I've had, and my mom is a hummingbird. And the last few days, I've had a hummingbird. She keeps coming up to the window. And every time I go, and she's, yeah. So she keeps coming up the window. I keep trying to get a picture of her, a video of her. And of course, as soon as I go to try and capture her, she's like gone, because she's a hummingbird. But I'm like, no, the bird spirits are bananas. The other day, and it was kind of a stressful day. It was like everything was kind of on fire because we had all those Aries placements. And I looked out my window in the morning, and there was a red cardinal sitting on my rear view mirror, or not my side view mirror on my car. I looked out and I was like, huh, like the ancestors really are out hot and heavy today. Howie, hi Maui, how are you? I'm Lara Joe, Siren Song Lover. Thank you for the gifts. Yeah. I identify with crows too. And let's say this as well. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. What are your big plans in Taurus, right? Okay. The animals that are pettiest live the longest lives. Right? I know I said that wrong, but the animals that are the pettiest, that have long memories, live the longest lives. Think of crows, cats, and elephants, right? They're all animals that remember everything and hold grudges, and they're also the most intelligent. Like, intelligent creatures hold grudges as well. Okay, the Tower. This is letting go of anything that is not for you, right? This is Scorpio energy. This is counter to Taurus, but it's saying, okay, it's got to go. If Taurus is the bull and it charges towards things, Scorpio is the thing that falls apart, and you just got to let it go, right? So Tower comes not to be scary. It's saying these things need to be rearranged, and you can't keep holding on to them, right? So Tower is saying, let that go, salvage what you can, and move on. Right? Stop holding on to things that are not for you. Anna, okay. Boo. So here's this part. I'm doing collective reads, but what I am going to do is do an education right now. And this isn't to be harsh. This is to be love, okay? Because love is saying that we stay in our own lane, right? So I'm going to give you a visual representation. This is for everyone, but especially Anna, because we're asking about other people. So this is your lane. It's open. There's no traffic. This is someone else's lane. If you're too busy going along in your lane and trying to see what they're doing over here, you will miss your destination, your turn, and what is meant for you. You're going to crash out. If you want to know what they're doing over here, you're going to crash out. And that's not trying to be harsh. That's like, I'm going to hold your hand and say the hard thing. I love you enough to say, if you're too busy focusing on what so-and-so's gotten over here, right, especially if you go to social media and you go check people out, right? Don't do that. That's the worst for your mental health. Because if you're cruising along, right, if you're staying in your lane, you got the music you want, you got the snacks you want, you hopefully got the people in your car you want. But if you're too busy looking over here at what's going on, again, you're going to be like crashing out. So I always tell people, do not worry about what anybody else is doing. Worry about what you're doing. You can only influence yourself. So there's a lane. This is yours. This is someone else's lane. Stay in your lane. Only for your sake. Yes. And remember, and that's where I went to talking about the flight pattern. What is meant for you, it may do a flyby around you, but if it's truly meant for you, it'll come back to you. I also like to say, when people go off to be with other people, that's because that other person is going to teach them a lesson that you do not want to teach them. Right? Like, I look at some of these hoes that stepped up to take care of my ex-husband after me. I'm like, whew, I'm so happy that they took it because I was not going to. Right? But this is that if you go checking other people, what they're doing, you just spiral out. Because especially online, on social media, people can present what they want. So it's that whole, if you go look and you see so-and-so with a new woman, you're going to crash out. They may have the worst relationship ever, but because it's on social media and it's fake, it's staged, you're going to think like, oh, they're living their best life, and crash out, not realizing that they're with the karmic and they're getting their ass drugged, right? Because karmics aren't peaceful, happy relationships. Karmics are the ones that make you like financially broke, emotionally broke, physically broke. Like, you lose your health, you lose your money, you lose your connections, all that jazz. So whatever is not for you, let it go, right? And when you're alone, I always tell people, when you're alone, date yourself. Learn how to love yourself. Know where you want to take yourself to dinner. That way, when you have a partner, you're going to know where you want to go. You're going to know what you want to watch. And okay, true story for me. When people would ask me, like, what I like, what my preference is, I have no freaking idea. I know that sounds awful, but since I was 15 years old, even younger than that, but especially since 15, I've always had to make sure everybody else was good and taken care of. I could tell you what what happened. I was dating, and this guy's like, well, what's your favorite type of cake? And I lost it. I spiraled because I didn't know. I didn't know what it took to make me happy. I knew what my dad's favorite cake was because, we had to make sure that he was happy. I knew what my ex's favorite cake was, but it's actually knowing what we want. So even if it feels solitary and lonely, and it's now is the time to date yourself, love yourself, figure out what makes your love cup feel full. Okay, so 7 of coins, 8 of coins, 10 of coins. We're building our finances. It's with 7 of coins is diversification of how we're making streams of income. A lot of us are finding like the 9-to-5 grind isn't it now. So it's, okay, what other pet projects or side projects or ways are we going to be able to work towards the financial success? So 7 of Pentacles is that diversification. It's saying, okay, what choices and options do we have? 8 of Pentacles, what this kind of like feels like for me, 8 of Pentacles is saying what is working and what is no longer for you. You need to determine that, right? 8 of Pentacles would typically be like, okay, if it's no longer working for us, it's time to be moving on. And with 10 of Pentacles, it's saying, okay, we're building towards that financial stability and happiness. It may come through multiple streams of income, and it is going to come through cutting off the things that are no longer working for you. And when you make the determination that you're like, I'm going to do this thing, you will be supported, right? It may be hard until you make a breakthrough. And again, like people that are successful, it isn't as if it was handed to them. People are successful. It's like the long nights, the early mornings, the solitary, that's what builds success. So don't be jealous of what someone else has because you don't know the work that they had to have that thing. So yeah, it is. People want to be an entrepreneur until you realize that there are some mornings that you're up until 3 a.m. sitting on the kitchen floor crying because you're like, I'm so hungry. I don't know if anybody's experienced that. That really is personal. Like, I can't even tell you how many times in the last 3 years I've stayed up till all hours and then have to be up the next morning and be like, okay, I don't know what or how it's going to work, but we just keep going, right? And being diligent, discerning, discipline, that's the other. People don't realize how much discipline, even following your inner guidance, right, takes a lot of discipline, discernment. Have to be a disciple. And yes, spirit does leave you kind of on a goose chase sometimes, right? Okay, Hanged Man and the Sun. So changing our perspective about the things that find happiness and daily. Okay, so I don't know why, I know I say that, but it's coming out like this right now. The sun shows up every day. 100% of the time. Just like you, my friend, you show up 100% of the time, every day, even when you don't want to, even when everybody complains about you. Okay, so Hanged Man is showing, like, I know it's really hard. Actually, let's talk about that. I know times are really hard right now, and you don't know how you're going to make it, and yet you have made it through 100% of your hardest days, with or without anyone else, right? And you've made it through 100% of your days whether people showed up and clapped for you or criticized you. So stop thinking that someone else has a way to change your life in the negative. Criticism is coming out really heavy. Okay? The sun, even when people complain about it being too hot or too sunny, it still shows up and it does what it's meant to do. So my friend, it's changing the perspective and realizing what a blessing it is to have that perseverance and tenacity that you and everyone else has, right? No matter how many people try to disrupt your sunshine, your happiness, you still show up. You don't have to show up happy. You don't. You can show up crying. That's fine. You can show up scared. That's cool too. But recognizing you've made it through 100% of your hardest days. And when you keep pushing forward, there will be success, right? Keep pushing forward. Keep making sure you're aligned, though, right? And hello, Fiona. All right, so let's talk about the solar plexus, right? That's our sunshine. The sun is our own internal, right? And that's part of it, too. Everything outside of us is a reflection. So the sun is saying, show up and shine for you. Because no one... And this message came through today. Because I was feeling, I was like, why do I keep showing up? But then I remembered no one can do it like I can do. Right? Just like for you guys, no one can deliver the messages that you can deliver. Or no one can deliver the messages like you do with the authenticity, because that's the part. People want to say they're an expert, but unless they have the experience, they have no authenticity. Let's say that again. People want to say that they're the expert, but unless they have the experience, they have no authenticity. Because someone who's been through something can speak on it with real experience because they know what it was. Right? So you have stories, you have missions, you have things to teach others that no one else can. So I know it may feel hard, I know it may feel scary, and you're uncertain, yet we need you, right? Thank you. I appreciate Meg. Thank you. So changing the perspective, though, is saying, okay, I'm going to show up. Like, that's part of, and one of the things that my kid loves to say, because she associates the song With or Without You about me, but it's a true story. I've always been like, yeah, it's cool if you show up, but with or without you, I'm doing the thing. That's why so many people try to stop me. They'll be like, oh, if I don't show up, it won't happen for them. I'm like, no, I guess like I have to work harder, but with or without anyone else, we're getting to the end goal. Okay, and a lot of days, honestly, my spiritual team, the divine, has carried me through. Like, I haven't had a huge team. I've had my spiritual team carry me through most days. Like, I haven't received help from others. I don't, like, I asked for readings, I asked for help with this, but, like, I'm not receiving funding from anybody. I don't have anybody to support me. But I still keep going. I still show up. I show up when I'm sick. I show up when I'm tired. And when I was gonna say that as well, I was not feeling mentally like super happy and or wanting to do a read, but then I'm like, okay, put on a dress, right? Make yourself feel nicer, and then show up, right? That's the part. You don't have to feel great. Sometimes it's, I don't feel great, but I put on a dress because it improves my mood. It's hard to be real grumpy when you're wearing a green velvet dress. I associate this dress with my court dress because I've worn it twice to court coincidentally, and both times were interesting. But this is like my court dress, so we're just going to be asking for investigators and police officers and lawyers to be coming in right now because I'm owed a lot of justice. I don't know about you guys. Okay. Let's get back into that. All right. It really is, though. And I have to I've told people like that I've worked with in the past, if you know you're going to be stressed out, wear clothes that make you feel good or make you feel comfortable or make you feel pretty. Right? Like the first time I wore this dress to court, it was because I was feeling really scared. And that's the other, even when you're scared, show up. Right? People want to tell me I'm scared. Well, shit, I can't even tell you how many experiences I've been scared about, but showing up makes the difference. Like, sobriety, super scared to get sober, yet I showed up, I did the dang thing. You can too. If you're struggling with sobriety, please talk to me. If you're struggling with addiction, please talk to me. I have overcome addiction, right? And I didn't have support, I didn't have rehab, I didn't have help, I didn't have family support. So if you want to get serious about changing your life in real life, come talk to me. I've done it. I've lost 100 pounds. I've walked out of alcohol addiction. I was a functioning alcoholic. I was deeply embedded in family trauma and have released a lot of family trauma as well to help heal, right? And I help others. And I think it's become really cool this weekend because it became obvious to me, like, I had many adult parents and children that were estranged actually reconnect. Okay, so if you think that connection with your children or your parents or whatever is non-salvageable, I've helped others reconnect. So those are big deals, right? JJ, I'm going to tell you this. We are doing collective reads. What we do have, though, is, so this is collective, but listening, okay? King of Pentacles, it's like we will be financially set, right? But Tower is letting things go that are not for you. Receiving the messages. When you know something is not for you, letting it go, right? If you keep holding on, and that's the other part. I've had to tell people this, and I've had to learn this lesson myself. Thank you, Meg. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I've had to learn this lesson too. If I refuse to let go of it and a tower has to fall, I'm going to suffer a lot more collateral damage. So this is saying if you want to reach that abundant, and a lot of times people aren't looking for the job or the specific set amount. What they're truly seeking is the freedom to be able to live their most beautiful life. Right? I feel all of us want. It's not that we want to make like $1 million a year. It's we want the freedom to be able to have a say over our own life. In order to do that, though, with King of Pentacles and the Tower, it's saying, okay, we have got to let go of the things that are not for us. People, places, things, addictions. When the Tower falls, let it go. 8 of Wands and Page of Cups. So you're receiving messages, and this is probably either around mental mindset, like cups are emotions and energies, right? So Page of Cups or Knight of Cups, this is a Page of Cups, right? Page of Cups is saying if it's immature emotionally, we have to release it, right? If we're feeling petty, childish, or even sometimes if we're feeling too overly emotional, that's a message too. It's like, why am I, and I had to have this conversation with someone yesterday. I was like, if this is making you emotional, you have to sit with what in you is asking to be recognized, right? So recognizing around people, places, things, what about this pattern makes me feel like I'm disempowered or I'm feeling childlike, all right? And or it could be around having, okay. Enjoy. Thank you, Meg, thank you for helping get me up over 5, right? And get some good sleep. Baby, drink. Okay, so Meg, like I say, if you message me, I can send you a few pages for the Inner Child Workbook or the Manifestation Life Workbook. I'll send you a few of those pages. Please get safe, rest, breathe, drink water, rest, and meditate. Okay? So, we are recognizing. Yeah. Message me on TikTok, but message me your email if you can. If not, I can send it to you, but I don't remember. It's like I can only send 3 messages and you have to respond. So I was going to I can send you the pictures, but it's probably easiest if you send me a message here in my email and I will send you a few pages. All right? Please get some good rest, baby. All right. Whew. All righty. So, as far as passing... Okay, so as far as passing her jam, I'm not sure what that is. Strength is needed, and it feels as though it's mental strength, right? It's mind over what's the matter. I'm going to say that again. Most things are mental strength. It's mind over what's the matter. So this strength is asking you to be disciplined, especially if we're trying to pass things, right? It's recognizing, okay, this may take great strength, but what are we gaining from being able to be disciplined and discerning and use that strength, right? When we tame ourselves, it comes with big payoffs and rewards. So let us see. Hello. I'm Lara Jo. We're doing collective energy reads, guys. Okay, so we have the moon in reverse. This is, you are seeing things clearly. And so as far as asking if somebody is to be with you, you need to be seeing things clearly, right? Hello from Nepal. I'm from the United States. Please send help. It's bananas here. The moon in reverse, everything's out for you to see. You have to be able to see what is out there, right? Like if you're getting messages from someone, and this feels like a lot of red flags. So Shailene, baby, we're doing collective energy reads, so I need you, everybody's getting a read unless you guys want to pay, right? Paying, then you get to the front of the line, and I specifically focus on you. So the moon in the reverse, everything's out for you to see. You need to be realistic about what you're seeing, right? So Shailene, as far as Jason being yours, right? This feels like there are red flags there that you need to be really obvious and like truthful with yourself about this. Because I feel like there's something there. It's like something that might be it's like a deal breaker, but you keep wanting to be like, no, it's okay. No, if there's something there that you're like, I can't do this, you need to keep walking, right? Because what is meant for you will always come back to you. So the moon in reverse is saying, see things for what they truly are, and please make sure you are making decisions that are healthy for you, just long term as well. Okay, so 10 of Swords. So this is collective reads, but if you're in, this is resonating, right? 10 of Swords, there's betrayals here. It's time, it's like rock bottom, but this does go with the moon in reverse. It's like everything that was hidden, we are seeing. 10 of Swords is saying that there are betrayals here. We need to be willing to cut them off. When someone lands a sword in your back, right? I'm a Queen of Swords. I'm like, when someone lands you a sword in the back, they have given you permission to utilize that sword to cut them off, right? If they betray you, if they stab you, it's time to cut them out. Especially with moon in reverse, it's like you see it clearly. After you get hurt, you start to see things more clearly, right? So you recognize like, oh no. Like so many people I've had to be like, that wasn't love. That wasn't cool. We're not doing that. So the moon in reverse, 10 of Swords, it's any betrayals that are obvious now because it's been revealed, you need to cut that out. No, and abusive people won't cut themselves out. You have to cut them out, and they don't leave willingly. Page of Wands, sideways. This is someone who thought that they were going to forever be able to come in and out the door. Like, they thought, oh, it's a revolving door. Page of Wands is here today, gone tomorrow. You also have to be like, no, my life is worth more than that. You can't come over here and play and be funny and ha ha ha, ki, because it actually hurt me. Knight of Swords, being decisive, cutting it off, saying nope. Knight of Swords is being swift and decisive. We are no longer entertaining things that leave us feeling stabbed and betrayed. 8 of Coins, this is financially left you in that bind. It's like every which way you try to do something, you're just stuck in that loop. Right? Break the pattern today or repeat the loop tomorrow. So 8 of Coins is saying, if you felt betrayed, if it was, you're like, ooh, that's not cool, it's time to keep moving. And this does feel around someone who's fiery, passionate, but they aren't actually becoming mature. You are over here with Knight of Pentacles, moving ahead. Slow, steady, methodical. It's not necessarily about getting to the finish line. It's about the journey. So Knight of Pentacles is saying, don't do anything that's like a quick action, right? Do it the right way, which always feels boring and or hard. But if you want it to last long term, you can't build a castle with a page, right? If you're dedicated, you're focused, you keep pushing forward, you can't build with someone who's going to be impetuous and fiery. Queen of Cups on the bottom there. Nurturing your love, nurturing your emotions. King of Pentacles. So as you do that work, as you move forward, again, slow and steady, you build that stability. This is long lasting. This is endurance. Pentacles is earth, right? Think of trees. Trees are long lasting, right? Because they grow slow, right? So that thing that you want to withstand the test of time, you're gonna have to grow slow. It's not like a get rich quick. It's like you have to put down the roots. And let's talk about that nature principle as well. In order to grow your branches, you must also grow your roots just as equally, right? You can't grow big and strong if you don't have deep roots, because the weight of it will topple you, right? Everybody again wants to do the fast, But if you truly want to get height, if you truly want to have success, legacy, something that grows and lasts forever, you do have to root in deep. Rooting in deep means digging for your resources. It means going into the dark shadows. It means having moments of growth. And also, while I'm on the tree analogy, right? Or growing actually, let's do a few growing analogies. And hello, I am who I am. So this analogy, when you plant, like if you were a farmer and you were to plant seeds, right? You can't go and dig it up to see if there's growth. You have to plant the seeds and let it be in the dark, because that's where growth happens. It's in the dark. Everybody's so afraid of their shadow, but that's where we learn who we are. That's how we learn to expand, is in the shadow, right? Because seeds don't grow in the dark, or they don't grow in the light, they grow in the dark. The other part of it, so again, you can't put it in the ground and then dig it up and be like, oh, is there growth? No, you have to trust that you've done the things to be successful. The other part, we don't yell at plants when they don't grow, right? We change the circumstances and the environment that they're in. Like if you had something that you were trying to grow and nurture, you wouldn't be like, oh my God, you're so stupid, grow. You would check and make sure that has the proper light. You would check and make sure that has the proper soil conditions. You would check and make sure that it's the right season and time. So it's nurturing you and that thing that you want and having the patience. The produce or the product is the last part of the process, right? The produce and the product is the last part of the process. So everybody thinks like, oh man, plant these things and it's going to grow really fast. Well, you don't go again from seed to apple right away. You have to go through the planting, the germination, the sprouting, and the last thing that you receive is the apple. Yet if you produce all the correct conditions, your family will be built, like they'll be able to nurture themselves long term off of the seeds that you've planted. Right? So recognizing to have growth, you have to do the work, you have to have the patience, you have to do the process. So that's why when we talk about like Knight of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, it's sustainable, it's maintainable, it's long term, but it also comes with a lot of patience, trial and error, and messing up. Right? So being patient with yourself and everything else, and remembering again, the fruit is the last part of the process in production. Okay, so King of Wands, also knowing what it is that you are passionate about, right? Knowing what it is that you are truly wanting. King of Wands is saying, okay, what are you fighting for? And if you fight for nothing, you fall for everything. So Four of Wands, what is stability? What does that look like for you? Happiness. Is it passionate? Is it grounded? Is it financially stable? What makes you feel comfortable? And again, most people aren't looking for like a specific, like, oh, I have to make this amount. No, they're looking to make that amount because they want the freedom to be able to live their life. So Seven of Wands is saying, whatever passions you're needing to pour into, make sure that they're actually helping you and not leaving you drained. So Seven of Wands is knowing, what are you fighting for? What are you toiling for? And seven is your choices. It leads you to the bigger picture. So Seven of Wands is saying, what is it that you're truly wanting? Okay, so the Sun, this is Leo energy. Four of Swords, needing to rest. And this may be needing to get outside and put your face to the sun, right? But resting, recuperating. And that's how you start breaking the matrix, is by resting, right? The culture is to stay hustling, grinding, fighting, but Four of Swords is saying, no, we need to rest, we need to breathe, be calm. So the sun, I'm going to suggest to you, like, get out there, feel the sun on your face, remember why you keep going. That is a lot of it. Remember why you keep going. All right, let's see what else in the world. Closing out those chapters that you're like, okay, this is no longer for us. We only want to do happiness, health, whatever from here on out. So the world is saying, let those things that are not for you stay in the past and keep moving forward. Close out the chapters. All right. And then Hermit. So going within, resting, it's very self-contained energy, but saying, no, you know what? I go within so I don't go without. Right? That's always hermit energy. Go within so that you don't go without. All right, guys. I'm Lara Joe. I'm going to follow my own advice. I'm being guided to hermit for now. So I'm Lara Joe. Tip your favorite tarot reader. If you'd like to book a reading, please message me. I am in a critical financial situation. So if you can book, greatly needed and appreciated. Hey, Harmony. I didn't know if you were still in, girl, or if you would... Because sometimes people come in and they hop out really fast. How are you doing? How's it been? All right. I'm gonna hop out. I'm Lara Joe, Siren Song Lover. I'll catch you guys later. Yeah. No, I hear that. The world is on fire, and I keep showing up. I'm set to be homeless next week, and I'm exhausted. So, yeah. Hermit. So, ironically, though, most of my tarot decks, when I ask, because you can ask when you ask your tarot deck, like, what card it sees you as, and I've even done it for clients, like, what card does the tarot deck see you as? And I always come up as the Hermit. So I'm like, oh, okay. Close. Not quite there. All right, I'm going to hop out. And I know, Harmony, we're all hurting. It's just the challenge, right? And it really is coming down to it. And I'm going to say this kind of because it's actually really scary. But because the small population has gate kept out of greed and fear and control and inhumanity, the resources from the large populace, like, we are now reaching a very dark and critical time in humanity. And it's where it gets scary. I thought about this last night because, okay, we have the conflict going on in Iran, so we're already stretched there. They're talking about drafting our boys, right? We have all this civil distress with ICE and everything going on there, and our country is about to break out in civil war, and now we have a class war going on. And then on top of that, with trade being what it is with other countries, right? They're not going to be willing to trade with us. And then on our own soil, people are burning our resources. So now in the United States, it's like we have so many different wars going on, and then there's distress, and people are burning products and wood and whatever. But that's the problem, is now the people that actually need those supplies aren't going to have them because they got burned. And then like I say, the war and the draft and all that jazz. And I'm just like, yeah, we're heading for some really dark times unless there's miracles that happen and or intervention. I don't normally like to get like dark like that, but we're kind of in a bad spot, guys. So, anywho. All right. It is. And there's a lot. All they really had to do, though, was, pay us a livable wage. Because let's actually talk about that. Minimum wage was created so that one sole provider could support a whole family, including another adult. Right? That's what minimum wage was made for, was so that one adult could support two adults and a whole family. That's not what's going on here. So, greed is what it is, and hatred and inhumanity. So, I don't know. Although the wealthier, I hope, realizing that we will come for them because they did it for too long for no reason at all, right? Just because they could. And I'm going to add all of this scary part too. Because, yeah, we're heading for some hard times. Because then we have, I don't know if you've heard, where men are training to fight in case women reject them or say no. They're learning how to beat women up. Right, and the academy that we all just found out about, but then also it's coming out that these men are also doing like games where they get paid for completing tasks. So there was that media influencer that it looks like now her fiance that took her out was completing tasks for a very deadly game, and he had to do it on time limit. So I know that all probably sounds pretty vague. Hopefully you guys understand. If you don't, ask me questions. Yet it's really coming out like the darkest of the dark, and who's been doing the right things and who's been doing the wrong things, and what side of history people are going to be on. So I don't know. All right, I'm gonna go. Bye, guys.